Hello everybody, Paul D. Robinson here on the porch and having a look at this Beatles classic, I Want You, She's So Heavy. Another one of those John Lennon, I Love Yoko very much types of songs. It has very few words, but what it does have is some very beautiful arpeggios and chord voicings that are not the most familiar. And another thing that makes it very interesting are those changes from 6/8 time to 4/4 time and back between introduction and verse and chorus, and that makes it feel like almost different songs that are patched together but very, very seamlessly. So let's have a look at the chords to the introduction. Firstly, we need a D minor, and we play that D minor with our pinky on the B string, and the reason for that is that it leaves our ring finger free to make the F6. Putting those two chords together, and arpeggiating them. Then we go to an E7 flat 9 and arpeggiate. Then there's a little change where we run down our A string from the third to the first, a little chromatic run, and that puts us in a position to move to the next chord, which is a B flat 7. And on the B flat 7 we arpeggiate it as well, but we use the A string and then we move across to the G string, down the strings to the E and back, like so, and then we move to this A augmented chord. When you put all that together, you get so that gets you through the introduction. But then there's this very pretty lead lick that goes over the introduction that we need to have a look at as well. So let's zoom in for that one. So let's have a look at what we've got here. We're starting on the 14th fret of the G string, and we're going 14, 14, 15 on the B, and back to 16 on the G, 15, 16 on the B and G, followed by a 16 on the E, bent up to 18, pluck it, let it back to 16 and to 13, then 14 on the G and B, and 16 on the E, bent up to 17. Let's go and have a look at the verses. So all of the lead licks that you need for the verses can all be based around this 5th fret. All of them. There's no need for getting up and down the fretboard, and the reason for that is if you're playing on your own and you've got to fill in some of the chords between the licks, they can all be found here. So you have your A, your D, your C, and most importantly this E chord, all in the same place, and your fingers are going to fall fairly naturally onto them in between the licks, provided you base all of your licks in this area. So let's break the verse down into some manageable phrases. And the first few phrases are played over the first position A minor pentatonic. And the first phrase goes like this. So we're playing our root A on the 7th fret of the D string, then to the 5th fret of the G string, then 7, bending up to 9, and as we release, getting back to this A power chord. As so. Then the second phrase again starts on our root A, so you can see that's similar to the first phrase. Then the third phrase starts in the same place, 7 on the D, 5 on the G, but then 7 on the B, bending up and down from 7 to 8. And then back once again to our A power chord. So if we put all of those three phrases together, see where we've got to so far. So let's play phrases 4 through 6 all together so that we know what we're aiming at. Phrase 4 takes us back to our A root on the 7th fret of D, then the 5th of the G, hammering to 7, bending up to 9, releasing to 7, pulling off to 5, then 7 on the D string again, 5 on the G, put those together, then phrase 5 starts on the 5 of our D string, 7 on the A, back to 5 on the D, and up to 7 on the D, back to 5 on the D, 7 on the A, 5 on the A, then 8 and 5 on the E string. Then phrase 6 is the open A string, and then 3 times on this C bar chord where we're barring the D, G and B strings. The A, and 3 times on that chord. So we put all of those 6 phrases together and we get So the next few phrases are played over a D minor chord, and so in order to stay on this 5th fret we need to think in terms of the D minor 4th position pentatonic. And there are 6 more phrases from this point. So the next phrase starts on the 7th fret of the G string, which is to say now on a D note. So phrase 7 is, And this is very similar to phrase 1, but instead of starting on an A, we start on a D. So we go 7 on the G string, 6 on the B string, to 8, bending up to 10, and then to our D power chord. That's phrase 7. Then phrase 8. So we start again on 7 of the G, 6 on the B, 8 bent to 10, releasing to 8, 6, then 7 on the G, 6 on the B again, bending up to 10 from 8, and back to the D chord. And then phrase 9, 7 on the G, 6 on the B, and then finally onto your E string, 7th, with those little bends, and back to D power chord. Those are phrases 7 to 9. I'll just go over them again all together. So that leaves us phrases 10 through 12. And phrase 10 again starts on the G string, 7th fret, then B6 hammering to 8, bending up to 10, releasing to 8, pulling off to 6, 7 on the G, 6 on the B, and 7 on the G again. Now in phrase 11, we're moving out of this pattern because we're breaking out of this D minor pentatonic set of licks and into the E chord, and we do that with this phrase: 5 on the G, 7 on the D, 5 on the G, 7 on the G, 5 on the G, and then this little chromatic run. So that's 5, 6, 7 on the D, and then 7 on the A. And then your fingers are just in a nice place to move into this E chord. And you only need these 3 strings of the E chord. And then you're back to the beginning, back to phrase 1. So I think that just about gets us through the song. So let's have a recap of what we've learned. We've got the chords for the introduction and how to arpeggiate them, and those same chords will suffice for the outro as well as the intro, and also for the choruses. We've also got the lead lick to go over the introduction, and we've got those lead licks that follow the melody or song line through the verses. So I think we've just about got it covered. One guitar or two, you can make some very nice sounds with this. I hope that that's useful to you, and if so, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon here again on the porch. Ta-ta for now.